Yes, people, and welcome back to another episode of the Ghostoul Podcast. Each week, I interview the very best in the paranormal field, and this week is no exception. Today, we have Phil, we have Sarah, and we have Jane. We have Are You Haunted? Hey!
Hi. You managed to get us all back.
I know, it takes an effort, that. How's everybody?
Good.
Right?
Good.
Yeah.
How are you?
I am very good, thank you for asking. Can't wait for this one, should be good. So, for those silly people that have no idea who you guys are, and I know that's going to be very few, if you'd just like to give yourselves a little rundown of who you are, that'd be lovely.
Phil, myself, obviously, we're married. Jane is a friend from many years who originally I used to have a paranormal team with. We've all come together through spooky goings on, spooky things, and we've decided that we were going to make a show of what we do. And we called it Are You Haunted, based on going in and asking a question of a venue: are you haunted? Is there something here? And we spend the night there to try and determine whether or not there is anything.
Yeah,
Short and sweet.
That's the way we like it. Yeah, I've had the honour to spend a few nights with you guys, and it's not the same way as other people investigate. Like you say, it's a back to basics. What brought this style of investigating into your show?
I'll let Phil answer this one.
Well, first and foremost, we were fed up of the gadgets that everybody uses, and we wanted to do something away from that. So nothing against anybody that uses them, by the way. Entirely at your own, if you wish to do that, that's perfectly fine with us. We're not going to tell you how to do anything. But we wanted to do something different, so we kind of step away from the gadgets and everything. And we kind of wanted to put ourselves in the same situation as those people that experience paranormal activity in real life, if you like, where they're not doing anything like walking around a venue with gadgets, looking for ghosts, etc. They're just basically going about doing their own business, and the experience is something weird. So we wanted to, again, to do away with the gadgets and just put ourselves in an area of a supposedly haunted location and just sit there and mainly rely on our own senses and our own experiences to come up with a kind of a conclusion based on the evening that we spend in the investigation areas of whether a place is haunted or not. So that's the main reason why we kind of do the back to basics investigations. It's mainly to do away with the gadgets and concentrate on what we're doing in the areas where we're investigating. And so that's why we do a back to basics thing, relying very much on our own senses, as you know yourself, because you've been on a few investigations with us.
I think just to expand on that a little bit as well, is we did used to run paranormal events, and as a lot of companies do, at the start of the night we'd had a table full of gadgets, and Phil would do his talk and he'd go through each one and explain what it does. And first vigil, everybody would go and run to the table and grab something, and the table would be completely empty. Second vigil, a few more bits and pieces would be left there, and by the time you're getting into sort of third and fourth vigil, people are just coming away with not really any gadgets. And I know as when I used to lead the groups, I used to say, right, everybody just put everything down and let's just talk amongst ourselves. And we tended to find that was the time that something would happen when we weren't really paying that much attention to a box in your hand, or we were deliberately asking out for something to happen. When we were just chit-chatting amongst ourselves, that's when things would happen. And for me, it just felt that was more of a validation than one it is something coming through a gadget or whatever in your hand. If you hear it or see it with your own eyes and ears, then that sort of validates it more for me.
Yeah, obviously when I investigate myself, I use all the gadgets, all the gizmos. Although I am reducing them now. I'm getting rid of a lot of them that there's doubts about. So I'm trying. But like you say, Phil, in a way, like most of the time, you're going into in a location. You got all this gear with you, and you're like, right, spirits, do something for me. Do you think that people that use them, it's sort of like forcing the night, forcing the activity, whereas your style is you're going in there, it's relaxed, it's like if it happens, that's, you know, it's more natural.
I think because we go in and we're kind of not really expecting anything to happen, because we're not relying on a piece of gadget that goes ping or makes noises to tell us its interpretation of whether something's there or not. We're kind of going a lot more relaxed and open-minded, if you like, and I think that's the way to do it, because as I say, going back to why we kind of go back to basics, most people that experience paranormal activity or experience some paranormal incidents of some kind aren't walking around concentrating on anything like a gadget in the hand or concentrating on looking for ghosts, etc., etc. They're just doing stuff like walking around a museum or castle or something and see something that looks a bit weird, or somebody walk through a wall and think, hang on a second, that's not right. So their mindset is just in a relaxed state at that time when they see that. And I think that's what we're kind of very much trying to do. I mean, we do ask out, but we don't kind of say, right, get your ass into gear, show us where you are, you know, you're not doing anything for us, so show us where you are, that kind of thing. We're just basically just, if there's anybody there, just give us a sound, make a noise. If you want to show yourself, do something, that's fine. And I think being kind of relaxed about it, not only do you tune into your surroundings better, but I think you kind of, if there are things such as spirits and ghosts, I think you give off a better aura for them to think, you know what, I'm going to come out and say something to these guys, or I'm going to move something, or I'm going to do something else, because I kind of like the vibe that they're giving off.
I think the other thing as well, sorry, with that is with you, a lot of other groups that do the videos and like YouTube or whatever, or the programs, they all use gadgets, so we want us to be a little bit different and not as well.
Yeah.
We're beard twins, Mickey. Hey, what's good? Yours is huge since the last time I saw you. It's like
I'm just growing it out.
I had to point mine.
I used to point it, but then it goes funny on one side, so nah. I've got birds in this one, I think.
A word of gummage going on there.
So do you guys, obviously I know this answer, but do you guys use any equipment on your investigations?
Jane, you can answer a question.
You can do something.
Yeah. Well, obviously we use Zoom recorders, and we use cameras. Yeah. We use EVP recorders, just manual, small digital ones sometimes. We have trigger objects that we decide to use or not use. We have occasionally used other things, such as we used a laser grid one time, because obviously if something breaks that, you can physically see it. It's not waiting for something else to pop up on a different type of gadget. It's a physical thing. But that's about it, I think. We try and keep it as basic as we can. And if we do use anything, it has to be something that's that's not going to get set off for any other reason than the reason that you're using it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we have thermal imager as well.
Yeah, we use the thermal imager, but the thing about the gadgets we use, they are designed to be used how we use them.
Yes.
Like thermal imager detects changes in temperature and gives you a readout on a digital screen, because that's exactly what it's designed to do. So we know that works. It'll give you a temperature difference from one side of the room to another. Audio recorders, we know that they record audio because that's what they do. That's what they're designed for. That's what they're made for. So we don't use a piece of gadgetry that somebody says, oh yeah, this is, use this because it helps you detect ghosts. Why does it help you detect ghosts?
Calibrate that.
It's based on this theory and that theory. Okay, so how have you made this piece of equipment? Because how can you make a piece of equipment to help you detect ghosts when you haven't got the parameters needed to put into that piece of equipment to help you detect ghosts, because we don't know if ghosts exist or not. So you've got no parameters to work with to help you find what you're looking for as far as spirits and ghosts are concerned. So it's all based on theory, and some of that theory is just, I mean, as you know yourself, Mickey, some of that theory is just like, cuckoo.
Do you think they'll ever define a ghost, or actually admit within science, or find out, like you say, what an actual ghost is or what a spirit is? Do you think they'll ever come to that conclusion?
That's a tough question now. I'm not sure. I'm not.
What do you think?
Yeah, what do you think?
I don't think they will, because I don't think it's in the interest of whoever to actually confirm, yeah, this is a spirit.
The only thing I'd say is that it's proven that energy doesn't die.
Yeah. So
it has to go somewhere and do something. So what that is, we don't know, do we?
We are the vessel, the shell. Yeah.
The other thing about it is, and I've mentioned this a few times on various chats, etc., is, are we ever going to capture something on a camera? Because I kind of theory of mine is that you need to be some kind of sentient being to establish a connection with a spirit or a ghost, rather than an inert object like a camera. And if that's the case, if you connect on that sentient, intelligent, conscious level to see a spirit or ghost, then no amount of cameras are going to help you capture the thing, because it hasn't got the same sentience, intelligence, and consciousness that a person has.
Oh, it's going to be diminished as the experience you guys had in the cinema.
Well, I'm thinking about the experiences you had in that house where we investigated, and me and you, Jane, were in the attic, and you saw something in a doorway. Now, we had a CCTV camera covering that doorway, and it never picked anything up, but Jane swears blind that she saw a man stood in the doorway. And the CCTV camera didn't pick it up, and it was facing that door.
Yeah, that's quite common, I think. People always see that on investigations. They have the camera facing. It's like, oh my God, I think I saw a shadow or a person or whatever. And the camera never picks it up. When
I did one, I mean, this is going back years and years, and it was before all your phone cameras and stuff, and I was literally using the old school camera and taking photographs, a proper camera, yeah, taking photographs in a location, obviously pitch dark, and the flash lit the room up, and as the flash lit the room up, that's when I saw the man in the light of the flash. And obviously the first thing I do is look down at my screen on the camera to see if there's somebody there, and there was nobody in the picture. That was just bizarre.
I remember that happening. I was there.
I can still see it as plain as day. Yeah.
I don't think, like, I've been doing this 15 years, never captured anything on camera. Audio, yes, lots of audio, but you know, maybe our eyes or our cameras, equipment that we're using is, like you said, Phil, is not able to pick up whatever a spirit or energy is. You know, well, I think, but then again, I say that I think you can capture it in a still photograph. I've seen quite a lot of quite good pictures from back in the day before they had like CGI and Photoshop, like the old
digital cameras.
Yeah, before digital cameras. Yeah,
I mean the old old 35mm film.
Yeah, and the early stages of like Polaroids and that. So I think maybe they record the image differently. I don't know.
Well, going back to the experience that Phil and Sarah had up in the theatre, I forgot what it was called, one with the play area. They physically saw a massive figure coming down the stairs, and luckily the cinema CCTV caught it because our cameras were facing the other way, but it was really diminished. What it caught on camera was nothing like what Phil and Sarah actually saw. So maybe it can give us a glimpse, but not show it as is.
How did it come up on screen?
It was just a little wisp of light, literally a small kind of. That was it, and it was over. But it looked like a kind of a shape of a leg stepping down on something, like stepping down one of the steps.
Yeah.
And then it went. But what Sarah and myself saw, it was about 5 feet somewhat tall, probably a couple of 2 to 3 feet wide. And it was gliding. It was a swirling, undulating pillar of light that was coming down the stairs. It was really bizarre.
It was like it was moving down the stairs, and we both saw it at the same time.
It glided. It was like a pillar of light. It just went like that.
Yeah.
And it was like, what the hell? And it was there for a good couple of seconds or so.
Yeah.
But when he
Wow.
came to look at the CCTV footage, it was literally a blink of the eye and it was gone.
You see it. You can see it,
You can
but
see it.
nothing
Yeah.
like what we saw.
And the good thing about that, the proof side of that, is it wasn't our CCTV because they were facing the other way. It was at the cinemas, so it wasn't anything we could control either, which made it even better.
Yeah, I think I remember watching that. That's crazy, and the fact that you actually caught at least some of it obviously backs up what you both saw with your own eyes. I mean, that's pretty cool. That.
Have you actually seen an apparition, Miki? Yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, quite a lot actually. They're not there for long. They're like half a second. Like I come around a corner and I look in the room and there's someone there and it's gone. Must have been seen about 10 over the years.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. What they are, I don't know. I have seen some full colour though. So I don't know.
That was spooky. What just happened there?
Yeah, what's that?
Came down.
Sarah's virtual background
Yeah.
dropped down. Oh no, the illusion's shattered.
She's not in the cupboard.
Not tonight.
Yeah, so obviously you're speaking about that image that you caught in your CCTV. Is that the best evidence, I would say, that you've ever captured in any location you've been on? Or the best thing, obviously you two saw an actual apparition walking down the stairs. Is that the best thing you've ever seen? Or is there something else you've seen that...
I mean, if you're talking about what we captured on CCTV compared to what we saw, it was disappointing.
Yeah.
But what we saw with our eyes was
in person,
absolutely shocked me to the... I was absolutely shocked. I was like, my God, like that. I was like, oh God, what's that?
Yeah, he was like really scared and I was like, wow.
Yeah. Cut that bit out.
Some of the some of the visuals, the audible stuff we've got's been really, really good though, hasn't it? We've had fantastic results with that.
Yeah.
Really good.
Some of the audibles.
That's what it is mainly. Like you've said before, Phil, it is mainly audibles, but some of it has been like clear. As you know, we use the Zoom recorders, and some of it's actually you can hear the voice, you can hear the words. You can even hear accents as well, and it's just really, really bizarre.
I think if you're talking about audibles, I think the best has got to be when we were at RAF Bimbrook.
Bimbrook, yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh my God, that was totally bizarre. Absolutely, totally bizarre. We set an audio recorder up behind the stage at RAF Bimbrook. It's got like a little theatre.
Have you been?
No.
Oh, you'll have to. We'll have to.
Good one.
Down there. Yeah, it's a good one. And we set an audio recorder up, and on the audio when we listen to it back, there is, I'm not kidding you, sounds like there was two Scottish men talking, crystal clear, Scottish.
Wow.
Can't understand what they say, but you can tell it's a Scottish accent. And then this woman with is it an American accent?
American, yeah.
American accent. What does she say?
You think she says something different to what I think. I think she says, sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I think she sounds like she says that, and you think she says.
I think she says, "All right, ladies and gentlemen."
All right, yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and that is crystal clear. And I'm not kidding you. No idea where that, because obviously there's only us in the building.
There's nothing around it either. There is houses, but not that close that you would pick
because it's
up.
an RAF base, so they're kind of quite.
And it was isolated
there'd be space,
as well.
yeah.
You would hear other stuff if that was the case. If we were picking up
But that was just like when we listened to that, it was like, what the hell? Where did that come from?
And gunshots as well.
And gunshots, yeah.
Oh yeah, with the birds flapping, you could hear the birds.
Yeah.
So it was replicating what they used to do on the airstrip, which isn't in use anymore. And what about the Keithley Streets when we got that?
Just to add to that about the gunshots, we did check for like bird scarers, and there was nothing in the area as well.
Yeah, Keithley Streets, that one where there was what sounded like really kind of quiet children or something, voices, and then this male voice just went stop, and it's like, what the hell?
We had all the big chimes as well, and there was no a really odd time of night. It wasn't like in a quarter of an hour or a midnight or anything like that. It was just chiming.
Just heard it once. It was picked up on the recording once, so obviously if it was something like a church nearby, then we would have heard it more. But it has been heard by another group, definitely one other group, since we've been as well.
Yeah, I think that was Elliot.
Yeah.
Elliot Haley heard that as well. When he was doing it. Yeah. Strange. But then he didn't hear it the rest of the night.
Mm.
Wow.
Weird.
What about, obviously that's the evidence that you've captured on your recorders. What about in person that you've seen or heard with your own ears?
Well, that's got to be over to Jane and unfortunately Dale, who's not here.
Yeah, and the house that we went to, and I saw that guy stood in the doorway, and I explained at the time, he just looked like he was stripes of different shades of grey, like a bit like a Van Gogh painting. How he does in textured, it looked like that, and I can explain what he's got on still now. And it was like a Fagin hat, so it wasn't a top hat. It was one of those that starts off narrow and goes wider.
Yeah.
He was only little, and he had a waistcoat on, and he had a suit on, and he was just stood staring through the doorway. That was it. And then Steelworks.
Yeah.
So I thought I explained it as a paper cut-out man, and it later worked out that I think was sort of a hanging man, basically. Yeah. And then at the school, the second time, I think I saw an alien grey.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was freaky. That
was freaky.
That was freaky. That was.
Where was that?
George Jarvis School.
Yeah. It was. That was odd. Really odd.
We were filming one of Sarah's pieces to camera, because we were filming it for the episode, and Jane and Dale had not been before, so Jane was showing Dale around, and they were upstairs, and in one of the rooms upstairs there's a hole in the attic, in the roof, in the ceiling, and they both swear that they saw something that looked like an alien grey looking down at them from the from the hole in the ceiling.
They came downstairs very quickly.
I saw it, and Dale said, "You all right?" I went, "Can you just look at what I'm looking at?" And the face just was looking at us and just went from left to right and then just disappeared. They were like,
don't know about Jeff the talking mongoose, but Jeff the talking alien grey.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
But yeah, that was a bit scary. But George Jarvis was great for audibles as well, wasn't it?
Oh my word, yeah. Yeah, we were convinced at one point that somebody was outside, like a group of people were outside, and there was nobody there.
Yeah.
And we heard Ben and myself when we were doing a vigil, we heard what sounded like tiny footsteps, small footsteps, like children's footsteps.
We got those.
And we couldn't work out where it was coming from, so we went outside to have a look. And behind the door where the noises were coming from behind the door where the noises were coming from, there was a hopscotch grid on the floor.
Yeah.
Because it used to be some kind of area, play area. It was all covered in moss and everything. And we just wondered if it was what we'd heard were like noises from the past of kids jumping on this hopscotch thing. It was really weird. It sent the shiver down our spines when we found out that was there.
It was a scary place. Was that the second time we went?
Yeah. Very scary place the second time.
Yeah.
We heard like footsteps actually in the room with us, didn't we, Jane? Like little pitter-patters. Like kids' footsteps, but actually literally in front of us. And it is clear as day when you watch the episode back. You can hear it.
Have you not been there either, Miki?
No, I am going in November now. Okay. Yes, I have a place. I'm going with Kieran and Richard.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
So, Richard Felix?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Kieran, yeah. So, it should be good.
Very strange place.
It's a great place.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, because you guys always tell me that it's amazing, and the evidence you've seen or captured there is just wow.
And there's a mouse. There's a mouse there as well.
Is there?
Yeah.
Did it scare you?
I think Jane was there doing a video or something, and she saw a mouse running down the corridor.
It was, we saw a mouse, and we could hear it because we got loads of scratching in the walls, but this was big scratching as well. Because I said we would discount the mouse, which it wasn't. And that's where we're getting more footsteps then, which were getting louder and louder. It was, yeah. We didn't split up that night. We didn't go do it anything on our own. As soon as we went in there, we all went, this feels so different to last time. We can't split up. It just doesn't feel safe.
Don't blame you. But I don't know if you guys have heard this. The new theory in the paranormal is that aliens are actually involved in the paranormal, like the spooky side, like the spirits, and they are in visitation and that's what we are seeing.
There's a lot of different theories, isn't there?
Yeah, that's one that people keep going on about at the moment, and yeah,
that's an interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when we spoke to Natalie about it, Natalie that looks after George Jarvis, Phil had got a T-shirt on with a picture of an alien grey on it, and like so Jane and Dale had come running down and they're like trying to describe it, and they just pointed at Phil's T-shirt and they're like, it just looked like that. And Natalie was saying it could be like something that's just like seeing that image and morphing itself into looking the same as what that is, you know. Who knows?
So, have you ever felt unsafe on an investigation or at a location? Apart from this one. Yeah.
I can't think of any off the top of my head.
Is there any others that just gave you that vibe where you thought, tonight it doesn't feel right tonight, it doesn't feel, you know, it's not going to be good?
I think there is a lot of places that you get that. I think we did get that at George Jarvis that night where we did. I think to start off with, you try and rationalise things, and this has happened to us before, Jane, hasn't it, years ago when we did Nottingley first time. When you're hearing noises that are that loud and positive and clear that you're rationalising it, and you're like, that's somebody in the building. And that's what we were thinking at George Jarvis. That is so loud and so clear. That is somebody trying to break into this building. So boys are like arming themselves with like blooming whatever they can grab, and they're going outside to check it out to make sure that there's nobody trying to get in through the door.
At George Jarvis.
Yeah. So
you were way outside with it.
It was the same when we did Nottingley. We heard noise. There were definite noises in the building because it echoed around the building. So. And
Salt and Pepper Potts Market.
Oh, yeah,
that was another one.
That was a bit odd. And the second time at Thorn, when it was just us,
that was weird.
Thorn Workhouse is crazy. Yeah. Both times that we've been there.
It's not a massive building.
Tiny.
Whatever's there is like lets you know that it's there. So.
Yeah.
But yes, in terms of like, yeah, you do. You feel. Sometimes you can walk into a room or walk into a place and you instantly feel like you've got goosebumps or what have you. You can feel that sort of vibe of the building. But it depends on how your mind works and how weird you are, doesn't it? Because it's like often when people that don't really know awful lot about me or what I do, and then I talk to them and let them like they find out what I do. And you get that reaction, don't you? Oh God, she's a bit cuckoo. But then I talk about it, and I thought, well, some people get that adrenaline rush by throwing themselves out of a plane.
That's exactly what you say. Yeah,
I do it. I like this adrenaline rush that I get from being scared in supposedly haunted locations or whatever. That's what I like doing. So it's like almost like for me, it's a challenge to test myself for how far I can push that.
I think another one of the venues that was really strange, we've only been once, we'd like to go again at some point, I'm sure, is the hotel in Wales.
I was just going to say that one as well.
Where Mark Nicholas came with us. And wow, that is such a freaky place. There's no electricity in it. We had to traipse a cable halfway across the blooming kind of fake location and to get into that one area where we could do a bit of filming and with the lights and everything, and we had to set the lights up. But yeah, once those lights went off, it was like absolutely pitch black. Absolutely pitch black.
And again, there was noises in there, and we thought somebody was trying to get into the building.
Yeah,
because that's what your rational mind tells you it is, because it's so loud.
Are any of you scared of the dark?
Yeah, me. Petrified of it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Always have been. I remember when I was a little kiddie, and I used to go out the living room, and there's a little front entrance way, and the toilet was across the way, and I used to have the stairs kind of, so if I came out the living room door, stairs went up to the right, and then there's a toilet in front of you. So if you wanted to go to the toilet, you had to go past the stairs. And every time, I always used to look up at the stairs because I thought there was something there, and it was always dark. We never used to put the landing light on to go downstairs. And so I used to run past it. But yeah, it's always been something that I've not really gotten over 100%.
So when you and Sarah are watching horror film and you go up to bed, Do you have to run up the stairs, or the last one to turn the light out? And Phil runs.
I try not to be the last out.
I'll tell you the worst one for Phil is when we stayed at Leith Hall.
Man.
We one of our friends used to be like the on-site
Property manager.
Yeah, property manager, and she had this little annex that was part of the hall. It wasn't away from the hall; it was actually like the corner of it.
Yeah.
But it was over. Was it like 3 floors, Phil, that she had? And we used to stay on the first floor. And she says, "Oh, by the way, there's a little girl that sort of stands. I've seen her standing by the doorway
In the room that you're sleeping in.
Yeah, and what did you heard something, didn't you?
Yeah, I heard. I'm not kidding you. Scared the life out of me. I heard a little girl's voice go, "Boo!"
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
Scared the life.
I'd have been out of there.
Well,
Guess who had to accompany him to the toilet when he needed to go in the middle of the night?
I had to go to the toilet in the middle of the night. I was like,
He's waking me up. He was like, "Come to the toilet with me." You had to go down the stairs.
Don't tell anyone that, okay?
Secret.
It's out now.
Oh man, that was spooky, man.
So your show has been on Amazon Prime, obviously YouTube. It's on Pluto now. Would you ever take it to TV if they offered it to you?
Well,
Depends.
yeah.
Well, yeah, I suppose we would. But
Yeah.
it depends how much kind of production say we have in it.
I was just about to say that. Obviously, at the moment, you have full control of what happens, where happens, who does what. Obviously, with TV production, you know that's not always the case, and they like to,
As you know.
yes, I do know, yeah, how they get involved and direct you and what they want you to do. So obviously, that would be a factor for you guys to keep full control of what happens.
Yeah.
I suppose.
I think that the point of the show is with us, it wasn't just about the fact that we were going in and doing a paranormal investigation. It was, we tried to make it a little bit like, if there's nothing happening, that people would still kind of get invested in it because of the characters amongst us, you know, and the friendships and everything. So a little bit sort of reality, sort of fly on the wall kind of a vibe to it. But yeah, I mean, I would not turn down the opportunity for it to go onto mainstream TV. I think that'd be, I don't think anybody would say, if they've been 100% honest, that they would turn that down.
No.
But you would like to think that we would have that input to keep it along what we've already created. Yes, definitely.
I think that's your attraction, to be fair. You're honest. There's no gimmicks, and whatever happens, happens. And I think people that are watching, there's more and more YouTube channels now that are coming out that people have been in the paranormal for a while, and there's not much happening, and their popularity is growing. So I think all the gimmicks and the loud noises and the jump scares, I think that is slowly wearing away. I think your style is on the increase, and I think people really enjoy it from what I've seen and what I've read.
Well, let's hope so.
That's good, because we kind of set about doing the show, and don't forget we're kind of all like, Sarah and myself do the editing. Sarah goes through the footage, cuts out the bits that she wants included in the episode, and I put it all together and stitch it together and make it look nice, as Sarah says. And we're all kind of self-taught with that.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is, what we definitely wanted to do is give the viewers a quality show to watch. So we spend an awful lot of time putting in the edits and making it look nice, as I say, because we want the viewers to enjoy it. We want the viewers to see that it's, there's a lot of effort gone into it. And but at the end of the day, if they enjoy it, that's basically all that matters. If they're getting enjoyment out of it, that's exactly what we wanted, and that's exactly what we set out to do. So,
yeah. Do you ever miss TV, Phil?
No, not really. Yeah, no.
So yeah, I don't want to go too deep into that.
Moving on.
So, is there any story or haunting or location that you've been interested in or read about or seen that you think is fake? Like a location, the story's made up. There's nothing.
Are you asking us to name and shame?
No.
Well, it's up to you, but I mean, location doesn't matter. I think East Drive is dead. I think that story's made up. I don't think there's ever been a black monk in there. But that's my opinion. I've never had anything happen there in 4 or 5 visits.
One thing I will tell you, because myself and Jane are both from the area.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for Jane, but I've certainly known about the haunting on East Drive since I was in my teens, and unfortunately that's too long ago to even say. But there is another house in Pontefract that before East Drive all blew up with a movie was more famously haunted than East Drive.
Oh wow.
And if you go on any forum that's like, I'm talking forum because I'm going back old school, but that would be the house that people would talk about. It would not be East Drive. And I'm not saying that East Drive didn't happen, because I think something did happen. But you're talking about something in the 70s that occurred. So whether or not you believe it's still there or not, for me, I think it was always quite it was quite novel to be able to get an opportunity to go into a place that's had that happen, because it's a bucket list tick, isn't it? Oh yeah, I've done that place.
Yeah.
Go on, Jane.
One of my old boyfriends was friends with the family that originally were in there, and he can vouch that it did happen. But the actual haunting part of it, if you like, was a very short period of time when all that occurred. So it is based on something that's real. Yeah. Whether or not, as Sarah says, is something still going on, I don't know, but I can vouch for the fact that yes, that did happen.
See, now it's interesting you should say that, where you mentioned that it didn't last a very long time, because, and this is what always puzzles me, most articles that I've read and books that I've read in the past, etc., always say there's a poltergeist involved. It usually doesn't go any longer than 6 months.
No.
Now, that one at East Drive, poltergeist-wise, is supposed to be going from all that time up until present day.
50 years.
And that's always kind of itched my kind of brain.
Well, poltergeists are usually around adolescent girls. That's mainly what gets them fired up, isn't it? That's what they're usually feeding off, apparently. That's what you normally find as part of the story. There's usually some teenagers of normally female, but obviously males as well. But yeah, he said it wasn't a long period of time that it happened. I mean, they did move out anyway, but yeah.
What about you? How many times have you been, Miki?
I think 5.
And all the 5 times, did you ever get anything happen?
I think the first time I went, there was just 2 of us, and I think the only thing we got an accent on the spirit box, and it said "M's in bathroom."
M's in bathroom.
Yeah, obviously the accent was good up there.
Yeah.
But I think Carol mentioned something about a spirit called Emily, but she wasn't part of the family, so it could be Emily or Emma. I don't know.
I think one of the few things we had up there was, I think it was probably one of the last times we went, and there was Sarah and Dale in the kitchen. So you know where the kitchen is. They were stood by the sink area.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Were you with us, Jen? I'm not sure if Jane was with us. Was she with us? You must have been.
No, I don't think so.
No? Okay. And I was sat in the living room in that corner chair near the door into the dining room kitchen area.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know where the piano is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was doing an asking out session, and I was recording it, and I was saying, "Is anybody there? You know, give us a sign, give us a sign, blah blah blah." And there came, I think, like 3 or 4 heavy, solid knocks, and it was that real, if you like. You know, sometimes you hear something when you're doing these investigations, and it's that real that you kind of ignore it to start with. You think that's somebody, because it's that loud. And I carried on talking for a second. I went, hang on a second, did anybody just hear that? Them knocks? And they were like, yeah, because I was with a group of people. They're like, yeah, I heard that. And it came from, for as far as I'm concerned, to my left, which is in that kitchen dining area where the piano is, and it sounded like somebody knocking on the side of the piano on the wood.
And that's what it sounded like to me and Dale, because you shouted through, "Was that you?" And we were like, "No, wasn't it? Not you." And so that's where it seemed to stem from. That's the only thing really that.
The only thing that's really kind of made me think, you know what?
And we've been a lot.
Yeah, about 15 times.
Yeah, because when we first started going there back in the day, after Most Haunted were there for their live, obviously the crowds of people were there every night. Whenever we went there, you'd have people knocking on the door all through the night. I mean, the last time I was there, it was 2 in the morning. There were still people outside.
Really? Wow.
And it's like, what are you doing? There were kids as well. It's like, go away, you know, trying to film, you know. But it's.
Can you excuse me one moment, please? I will be back.
Okay. So we'll carry on with the questions. Do you think, or would you investigate people's homes?
Oh, that one where Jane saw the figure in the door was somebody's home.
It was,
was it?
but they'd not moved in yet. They bought the house.
They were doing it all.
And they were doing it, they were renovating it, but whilst they'd been renovating it, they were getting all these weird occurrences taking place. I'm always a little bit sort of cautious when it comes to doing houses. I'm not saying that I'd not do it, but if I were going to do it, I wouldn't really want to do it as Are You Haunted in the show and the filming and all of that, because you're going into somebody's private house, you know, and putting that out for all the world to see. I don't know. I personally don't feel very comfortable with doing that.
We have done it once.
Yeah, I know we have. We did it
That
at
was
the
Hadlesey
Hall, but
lovely place, that.
yeah, it's. I'm always a little bit like that, because you are going into somebody's personal space, and so if I were going to do it, I'd do it off camera.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, whether they agreed to it or not, obviously they want maybe the attention. Who knows? But yeah, I think if you go in there with respect and you don't film, like there must be a reason why they've called you in. If your neighbour says, "Sarah, Phil, something's going on in my house, could you come and have a look, see if you can try and figure it out?" You know, don't take the cameras, but I think from my personal point of view, I think that's okay, because you're not, you know, showing the world, look at me, I'm investigating the homes now.
Yeah. I think that's my sort of take on it. We did do a Hadlesey, but the house was actually, or the hall, he'd got it up for sale anyway, and he was moving. So as far as he was concerned, I mean, they were there. They were actually, you know, they went and put TV on in the bedroom, and we give them a radio walkie, and they just sat and watched movies all night while we did our thing, and they just give us free reign of their beautiful house, which was spectacular actually. But I think it might have been more about the fact that if they were going to be staying there, they maybe wouldn't have been so comfortable with the cameras. But
they're selling it.
Pardon?
They're selling it.
Yeah.
Oh, don't remember that, but that's just me.
Yeah, so Series 4 is obviously out on Pluto. It's currently being released weekly on YouTube. People want to know, is there going to be a Series 5?
Yes, there is a Series 5, which we are currently filming at the moment, partway through.
And when is the scheduled release date for that?
Autumn.
Autumn. Halloween?
Autumn, yeah.
Around that time, yeah.
Tight-lipped, that one.
No, you know, it's just difficult, isn't it? It's like Phil says, we do it all ourselves, so it's time.
Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah. It's not like we're sending it off to some production company and they're just like saying, "Oh yeah, we'll have that done in a couple of months." It's hard. It's as and when, and life gets in the way a lot.
It does.
So,
yeah.
As you know.
Yeah, very much so. Do you have any plans for Halloween? Do you ever do Halloween events or special things? Right, it's Halloween, we need to go. Let's go ghost hunting or anything like that.
Last year we were guests on with Brooks Paranormal. We went along to one of theirs, and it was a fancy dress.
Oh yeah,
so we did that. the year before. I can't remember, guys. Can you remember? We did anything?
What we did, if anything.
We've released a Halloween special before, but we just haven't had time to film one, have we? It's just time, basically.
We did the Tutbury Halloween special, which we filmed over 2 nights. That was really good. With Leslie Smith.
What we normally do on Halloween is what everybody else does, and that's close the curtains and ignore the door.
Yeah.
We did. It was during lockdown. We were going to do a live from a location which was quite near to us.
Yeah, we booked it as well and everything.
But obviously, then we went into lockdown, and it was just like
that's the point.
Couldn't do it. So yeah.
Although if we can find a venue to do towards Halloween, we do now have the means to stream live. So we might do that. Depends. What's everybody reckon? Anybody watching this? What do you reckon? Should we do a live stream from a Halloween venue?
Yeah. Ooh, yeah, put it out there.
Let us know in the comments. I've always wanted to do that. Let us know in the comments.
What about you, Miki? Are you doing anything at Halloween?
Not that I know of. Yeah. Where are you going?
Don't know yet. George Jarvis, we'll go there.
Nothing planned at the moment. So who knows? I might go on. I think last Halloween I did 6 ghost hunts in 5 weeks.
Wow!
Right, I'm going to ask you a question now.
So tired.
I'm going to throw a question back at you.
Okay.
So you talk about Halloween.
Yeah.
But do you think, right? Because everybody associates what we're doing, like ghost hunting, paranormal investigation, with Halloween. Do you think it makes a difference?
No.
So why do we always go for it?
Because it's spooky and Americans told us to do it. That's why. No, I've never been on an investigation on Halloween night, and activity was crazy. To be fair, it's probably flatter than normal.
Yeah. So here's another one. Yeah. If you could go anywhere in the world for Halloween night, where would you go?
Well, if they would let me in.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Enfield House.
Really? You've got anywhere in the world and you're choosing somewhere in the UK?
Yeah, because no one's ever going to be allowed in there.
No, that's true.
And that will be like, wow.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Cool.
Where would you go? That's actually a question for later. So. Yeah, don't. Do you guys have a pre-investigation ritual?
Yeah. We normally turn up and eat loads of snacks.
We're not eating all day because we've been trying to organise all the stuff.
Yeah. Squabble for a bit about what we're doing and what we're going to be up to, and then get on with it. I normally fall out with everybody on set because they're not doing what I want them to do, or not doing how I want them to do it. So. But yeah, but we haven't got a set routine really. No, we just turn up, chill out for 10, 15, 20 minutes or so, have a drink or get somewhere to eat. Because normally we've not eaten in the afternoon, so we just turn up and eat a sandwich or something, and then get onto the filming.
We don't do a hacker or anything like that, if that's what you mean.
No. Come on, spirits. Do a spiritual ritual, drawing them in. Come on.
Yeah, we don't do that.
No. How do you see the paranormal community at the moment? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's a negative atmosphere at the moment?
I feel like I'm doing a lot of talking. I'm going to let somebody else answer.
I think it's the same as when you get any massive group of people with the same interest, be it spooky, be it another one of my interests, which is animal rescue. You will always get people falling out with each other and ending up with little cliques of people. So I think that's how things happen all the time. So at any point, somebody's going to be falling out with someone. So we just try and stay away from it all, don't we?
It can be a very, very bitchy subject to be part of.
It is.
Don't get me wrong. You know, we know loads of really nice people involved in it, but there are certain areas which are not as friendly, if you like, as other areas are, and there's certainly a lot of narcissistic characters about. That's for sure.
Yeah. I think to be honest, we just try and I look at it like we do what we do because we enjoy doing it. We love doing it, and while ever we love doing it, we'll continue to do it. Whether or not the other people are there, it's like I know there's a big thing about paranormal community and para-unity and all of that sort of thing, and I think that's great, and I think it's great because like you have these parrot meets, which we're going along to Parrot Meet North, and it's going to be great to meet some people that we've only ever seen on social media, so we're really looking forward to that. So I think that side of it's really good. You know, ultimately everybody's got the same interest, whether you believe one way of doing it, if like you use your gadgets, whether you don't use your gadgets, whether you do things this way, that way, you've all got that common interest. So get together, have a good night, have a good conversation like we're doing now. There's no need for all that other stuff, and if people want to do like compete with each other and what have you, I'm not really interested in that. I'll just steer away from it, and I think that we're old enough and ugly enough now to sort of like put all that behind us. We don't need all that negativity in our lives.
Yeah, spot on.
Yeah, it's all about the views, who can get the best locations, you know, who's got the best gadgets or whatever. Like you say, after a while, you see the people that have been in it for a long time, and you know, you get these people that turn up, they're here for like a year, maybe less.
Yeah,
they buy all the equipment, they make these videos, they realise it's not as exciting as they think it's going to be, and then they give up. And you see that's so common, and they're not necessarily only them, but they are a big part of maybe the negativity side of it, because they want the attention now and they don't realize it takes years. I mean, I've been doing it for 16 years, you guys probably longer than me. And
to give you an idea of how the genre has exploded, back in 2004 when I released when I did Dead Haunted Nights public ghost hunts with Ian Lawman, believe it or not, we set it all together. Wow. There were only 3 major groups, paranormal investigation, public events groups, businesses, and that was myself, that was Fright Nights, and there was a company called Paranormal Tours, and that was basically it, who were doing the overnight public events for the general public. Yeah. Look at it now.
Oh, it's crazy.
How many are there now?
I think social media's had a big impact on that.
Oh, yeah. But what I'm saying is how it's exploded is absolutely ridiculous. So you're going to get groups of people that don't get on with each other, like any walk of life. And,
it's not competing against each other and trying to be better and trying to prove something. And I just don't think that, like I said, we do what we do because we love doing it. Yeah. And the fact that people enjoy watching us is, for me, it's a bonus, you know. I wouldn't, not interested in competing with anybody. I honestly can say that I know of other groups or other channels or whatever that are out there that produce some amazing stuff, that put lots of work into it, and yet you never seem to see or hear anything of them. No. They just, I don't know, they go out and they do their own thing, but they don't seem to be included in a lot of stuff as well. You know, it always seems to be same sort of faces and that are included in a crowd, and it'd be nice to bring some more people into it. And you know, there's a lot that go out there and put a lot of work into it, but they're not searching for the limelight. Maybe that's why they stay out of it. I don't know.
Yeah, you mentioned Parameet. I was at the South one, and like you said, lots of people you've never met, but you know them on social media. For me personally, I thought that was such a positive experience. Yeah. And I was so happy I went, because I nearly didn't go.
Come to the North one.
Are you coming to North?
I was just about to say I might pop up.
We might let you sit with us if you like.
Yeah.
Owner of East Drive, because he's going to be there.
Who is?
Pardon?
Bill Bungay's there.
Who is he?
Oh, yeah, he is, yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering about your thoughts on the Parameet. Have you done them sort of things before?
Well, we did Sudbury that you came to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, that was good. And then we did. What was that one we did in? What was it? We did one, didn't we? A while back in Leicester. Can't remember what it was called. Anyway, but yeah, we
we did one years ago,
Yeah,
Phil. We did one
years
down
ago.
in, were it in Portsmouth, and we went South Sea Castle, and then there were a big
Yeah.
awards thing as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that was a long time
But we
ago.
tend not to get involved with too many of them, to be honest, do we?
Yeah, we don't get asked.
No, we don't get asked.
I'm sure you do now.
C'est la vie, c'est la vie.
Have you ever experienced a demon? Do you think demons are real?
Oh my word. Okay, if you're talking demonic as in the kind of Bible, brimstone and fire and all that kind of stuff, then no. I don't believe in that.
Because that seems to be the thing for the last year or so. Every house that's negative, every location, there's a demon in there.
Do you know what? It really, really winds me up that inevitably some series that are out there, UK series, not mention any names, they've now started incorporating the demon side into the stuff that they put out. And it really winds the crap out of me. Because these guys are supposed to be professional senior paranormal investigators, and they know better. They know better than to start throwing the demon thing around. And they only do it because if there's a demon involved in where they're investigating, they can get away with over-dramatic incidents and blame it on a demon. Because they know that will bring viewers in, and it really boils my piss. Not saying anymore.
Well, I think there's good people and there's bad people, so that would, if ghosts do exist, there'd be bad ghosts and good ghosts, not demons. Though I don't believe in demons.
That's what I would say. You've got people out there that do some absolutely evil things, and if you would say, is there an evil spirit? It could be somebody that's a murderer, or that have done, evil things in life. Then, that's what I would perceive as an evil spirit. But demon, I think a lot of it, as we know, is come from America, because obviously a lot of the shows over there, it's demonic. It does get the views. You see it all over YouTube and social media, whatever. Personally, I think, like Jane, I agree. Is this good and bad? Is good and evil, or whatever, in people in life? So that's how it goes on into spirit.
I've been doing this since I was 16. I'm 53 now, and that's 16 actually investigating at 16.
Oh wow!
I'm 53, right? And not once have I been scratched, punched, bitten, thrown across the floor, thrown across the room, or encountered a demonic entity ever. Yet these people that you see on, I don't know, certain shows, etc., then what's happening with them? Punched to the floor, thrown across the thing, scratched, bitten by a demon. It's like, okay, well, how? What am I doing wrong? Do they not like me or something? Am I more demonic than the demons to ignore me? I don't know. But I've never ever experienced that, and I don't know anyone on a first-hand basis who has.
Jane's been scratched.
Jane's been scratched.
Yeah. Remember Jane?
Yeah, up to that. We went to do a recce, didn't we? With the Black Horse.
Yes.
And we were in the toilets, believe it or not, which had something in there, and we were just going for a recce, and they're showing us round, and locked.
There was something in the toilet.
Oh, yeah.
Demon.
Did you flush it out, Jane?
When I climbed back down, we were going to go out of the loos, and Sarah said, "Well, what's that?" And I had scratches down my cheek.
Yeah, was it down like onto your neck?
Yeah.
It's like somebody had got a pin, like a right precise scratch. But you know how it sort of comes up in like a welt and it will like red? It will like that. But you didn't feel anything happen, did you?
You did get thrown across the room, though, punched in the mouth and onto the floor.
No. It's a shame, but no, unfortunately.
You didn't see an imp at all, no?
No.
No. Okay.
Oh dear! Now we're going down a rabbit hole with that.
That's fair enough.
Let's teeter on the edge and not go down it.
No. No rabbits will be harmed in this episode. So, are you all believers, or are you skeptic believers, or?
Nope. I think I'm probably the most skeptic of the lot.
Yeah.
Because things don't tend to happen to me an awful lot. And the others have had more experiences than I've had. I think it's fair to say.
Do you go into an investigation with that mindset though? Are you closed?
No, not really.
Open-minded, no? Because some people say that skeptics never see anything, never hear anything, or experience stuff because they can't accept there might be a different world out there.
No, I mean, I have experienced bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But nothing to.
Well, you saw that at the theatre on the stairs, didn't you?
Yeah. But as you know, your mind starts then questioning what you've seen. So, to be honest, for me, it would literally take for a ghost to appear or a spirit to appear in front of me and go, "Boo! What do you think of that?" Then I would go, "Do you know what? I think there's something there to this." So yeah, but yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not closed-minded skeptic at all. I'm just more cautious of what.
You're open to the possibility, aren't you?
Yeah. I'm more cautious to what I experience, if you like.
But you question everything, which is very good to do. Don't believe everything you hear or see.
Exactly, and I think that's what we kind of put across on the series as well. When there's a noise, if there's a noise, we'll go. Well, we know what that was. That was this, that, or the other. Or we've heard that before, and that's this. So we do kind of try and rule out bits and pieces when we can certainly do that.
Yeah. I mean, the very first episode, we investigated a pub. And the reason that we ended up there is because there was a photograph that was taken that had been featured in local press. And that's what brought our attention to the place. And we ended up, we contacted them and went along and investigated. And we recreated the photograph and essentially proved how it could be done.
Yeah.
Without it being anything paranormal.
Not an intentional thing. It's an accidental paranormal photo.
Oh.
The original, not ours.
Yeah.
Sarah, can I just say you're getting darker and darker as the room gets darker? Yeah.
Spooky.
You're just a floating head now with that background.
I'll move over that side.
Yeah, that's better.
So we've got 2 questions left. So the first one, we'll come to it now. Bucket list location for you 3. Open ticket to anywhere in the world. You can go in there, spend a night, spend a week, whatever. Where would you go?
But I'm going to say, and I've said it loads of times, Waverley Hills. Love to do it. And my challenge would be to walk down the Death Chute tunnel by myself. That
looks very creepy.
I think I'd probably do the same, actually.
You can't say
want to do Tombstone?
What?
Tombstone?
No, well, yeah, it's interesting, but I wouldn't want to say it's probably the Birdcage Theatre in Tombstone. I'd probably do that. That'd be ace. Yeah.
That's because Phil's really into the history of Tombstone rather than haunted.
Yeah. The old White Herb and Doc Holliday and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent stuff. Jane,
sort of abandoned, isn't it? That area, Tombstone, a lot of it.
No, it's a thriving area now, and tourists.
Okay.
Stuff like that. It's still got Boot Hill and stuff like that there. But a lot of the original buildings burnt down. So, but the Birdcage Theatre is one of the originals.
What's the big penitentiary called over in America?
Eastern State.
Yeah, I'd like to do that, I think.
But Al Capone was.
Penitentiary. Oh, that's Alcatraz now.
No, Eastern State. Wasn't it?
Alcatraz.
Alcatraz was on the island. Was he in both of them?
Well, he was at Alcatraz, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, he's got his own room in Eastern State.
I think it was. I'm gonna have to look that up now. Wait there a minute.
We've said it. We say it a lot, actually, that we would love to take Are You Haunted over to the States. We'd love to do it. I think that we ought to do some sort of an exchange with some paranormal investigators in the States, and we'll go and stay at theirs and do some investigating. And they come and stay at ours.
Exactly. Yeah, America. That'd be great. Alcatraz. Yeah.
He was there as well. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Somewhere around.
Miki, what about? Where's yours?
Well, I've obviously already said the Enfield house, just for the fact it's no one's ever been there, no one's probably ever going to go there unless someone buys it, like the original Conjuring house in America, and actually lets it out.
Yeah.
But like you say, Alcatraz. I'd like to investigate the original Exorcist house in America, where the story came from, from the film. That's a real house.
I don't believe the Conjuring house is haunted.
No, I could have gone there, but I got COVID and it ruined my life.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were supposed to be going States as well, weren't we? But COVID came along and we'd got everything booked and what have you. So that
same.
I tell you where I've seen a lot of people trying to get trips up to go and visit to investigate, and that's Dracula's castle in Romania. They won at Brasov, and I've actually been, but through the day. But that seems to be one that people are picking up on, trying to get investigations for now. So I would imagine that'd be a bit more interesting at night than it was in the daytime. So yeah,
is that Bran Castle?
Yes.
Yeah. There's two. There's two there, isn't there?
There's two Dracula castles. One looks the part, whereas Bran doesn't. The other one looks a lot more spooky, if you like. Whereas Bran's just like perched on top of a rock. It's all cream and terracotta tiles and everything.
Yeah.
Weird place.
I'd like to do the forest there as well.
You get eaten by bears.
Yeah, and wolves. Yeah, it's not something that I'd like to experience myself, but
it's a wild place, is Romania. It is.
Yeah, I've got Romanian family, and they warned me from going at certain times of the year because it's not a safe place to go.
No. The bears and the wolves and everything.
And amongst other things, yeah.
Okay.
Of the humankind.
Vampires.
Yeah, watch out for the skies.
Yeah.
And the last question of this lovely episode: if you could get rid of one thing in the paranormal right now, whether it's a location, equipment, attitude of people,
person,
what would it be?
God. That's a real hard question.
Okay, what don't you like about the paranormal?
Egos.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's it. Just
really
ego.
good. Yeah.
Just live and let live and enjoy what you do. No need for egos.
Brilliant.
What about
Thank
you?
you so much. I would get rid of dowsing rods.
Would you?
Oh, that's where you were going with it, right? Okay.
I don't like dowsing rods or pendulums, and I started. They're so easy to manipulate when you're holding them. People hold them. It's like, oh, it's moving. It's like, yeah, your arm is moving.
Yeah, we know exactly that. We know exactly that.
Yeah.
You know,
from somewhere we went not so long ago.
Yeah.
Anything that could be manipulated by yourself, I'm not so keen on, to be fair. But
can you stop? Oh, it stopped.
Wow.
You go again. Yeah, but each to their own.
Exactly. Yeah. If you enjoy them, I know loads of people that use dowsing rods and they swear by them.
Yeah. Richard Felix does.
Yeah, he taught me. My first ever ghost hunt was with Richard Felix and the Golden Fleece back in 2008.
That sounds like a film.
It does. And he got me using pendulums, dowsing rods, and yeah, I started off using them on investigations, and then I progressed. So yeah.
You grew up.
I grew up.
No, sorry, that was no offense intended. Just a bit of fun.
No. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me this evening. You've been awesome as ever. Could you just let the people know where to find you on social media, where to watch your videos, etc.?
Okay, so we are available on Pluto TV, which is a free downloadable streaming platform. If you've got a smart TV, iPad, tablet, whatever, you can download it and watch it exactly the same way as what you would do YouTube. We're on demand, and we are occasionally, we come up on Paranormal Channel on there. We are also on YouTube. We're just in the process of releasing season 4 on YouTube on a weekly basis. Social media platforms, we are on Facebook, we're on TikTok, we're on X, as it is now known, and Instagram. Just search Are You Haunted and you'll find us.
Brilliant. Thank you, guys. It's been awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
We'll see you again on another venue when we're filming.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Don't forget me.
We would never forget you.
Cheers, guys. See you in a bit.
See you later. Bye.
So there we go, guys. What an amazing show. Awesome guests as ever. The Are You Haunted team. Make sure you go follow them on all the socials. Make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, because I need the subscribers. This is a new podcast and I'm loving it week by week. The guests are brilliant. Make sure you like the Instagram page, and I'll see you guys next week. See you later.